Agutin Erev Shabbos. Today is Pesach Sheni, and it was in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, the day when those who did not merit to bring the Karban Pesach on Pesach, 30 days later they had another chance. They had a second chance, an opportunity to make up for it. If they were unable to bring it the first time, they were tamei or something of the sort. And Emir Hashem, over the next week across New York State, we will slowly be reopening the shuls in staggered fashion, with social distancing and careful beginning mostly outside, and we hope to be able to do so at some level again. The Parsha begins, Vayomer Hashem al Moshe Emor leKehanim b'nei Aaron. And Hashem said to Moshe, tell the Kehanim, the sons of Aaron. Why do we say the Kehanim, the sons of Aaron? If they're Kohanim, they're sons of Aaron. If they're sons of Aaron, they're Kohanim. It is one and the same. Rashi quotes the famous Gemara in Yevamos 114a. Emor v'yamarta, it says it twice. Lahazir gidolim ala ketanim, to tell us that the elders, the older, the adult Kohanim, need to show the ropes to teach the ketanim, the children, the younger Kohanim. The Dubna Magid, famous for his Mishalim, for his parables, shared the following incident. There was this rabbi, a very wise fellow, who had a small group of close students who spent a lot of time with him. And once one of the students was saying over a story that happened in the local town, and he mentioned that Shmerel the Megushim was going, and the rabbi stops and he says, Shmerel the Megushim? You don't refer to a person like that. Shmerel the Megushim was a local resident who was a heavyset fellow, a very jolly fellow, who enjoyed his food and his drink a lot and different pleasures of the world. That was his purpose almost in life, he would act. And people called him Shmerel the Megushim, Shmerel the glutton. Shmerel, the person who's just full of fulfilling his gluttonous desires. Rabbi told the student, that's not the way you talk about people, it's derogatory. Don't speak in such a fashion. Okay, he understood, he was chastised, he accepted it, and he made up his mind as a good student not to do it again. A couple of weeks go by, and the student was sitting there, the close students with the rabbi, and someone came in, a shadchan, a matchmaker, and he says, Rabbi, I have the perfect shidduch for your daughter. Wonderful family, they're local, they're such a happy family, always smiling, wonderful people. The rabbi says, and who may that be? And he says, Shmerel the Megushim. He has a son, just like his father. The rabbi stops him short, says, Shmerel the Megushim? No way! Not for my daughter. I'm not making a shidduch. We will not marry into the family of someone who is known as the Megushim, as known as the glutton. After the fellow leaves, the student turns to the rabbi and he says, if I may be so brazen to ask, a few weeks ago when I referred to Mishmel the Megushim, he was like, don't refer to people like that. It's derogatory. And now you won't even marry into him, and you refer to him like that, and you won't marry into him because of it. The rabbi says, my dear son, my dear student, there's a very big difference. When you're just talking about somebody, even if it's the way they're called, it's not okay, it's derogatory. We have to be tolerant, we have to be accepting, and we have to try to build them up. But when it comes to marrying someone's children off, when it comes to who their family is going to be connected to forever, and who their children will be happy with and fulfill their goal in life with, you have to be realistic, and you have to realize who a person really is and what they're up to, and realize whether or not it's a proper shidduch or it is not a proper shidduch. At the end of the parsha as well, we have the story of the Biegeleisen. There was this fellow who comes, the Mikalel, and he curses against Hashem publicly. And the sentence was passed, he had to be put to death. He was stoned. A maskil, a member of the Enlightenment, the original Reform movement, who came to Rabbi of Prague, back in the early days when these people began, in those days, to embrace socialism and communism and all sorts of atheistic ways of approaching the world, Rahman al-Islam. And he comes to Rabbi of Prague just to try to spite him, and he says, Rabbi, I don't understand. It's not fair. By the Mekoshesh, by the guy who went and desecrated Shabbos, that we have the story in Chumash also publicly, and he was sentenced to death by stoning. It says, he was stoned with avanim, multiple stones. And over here, it's Vayirgamo say Evan. One stone. Why over there did he have to have multiple stones and over here it was one? Rabbi Shai looks at him and he says, listen, I'll tell you why. By the Mekoshesh, there was a machlekes. There were those who said that he intended it l'shem shamayim. He wanted to serve as an example, to show other people how serious Shabbos is, how important Shabbos is. He wanted to show them that it's a real thing, and one could be put to death for desecrating it like that. So he meant it well. He was wrong in his calculations, and he had to be put to death. But he meant it well. So some people felt compassion for him, while others held that he did not mean it well. And they felt no compassion for him because he deserved it, he had done it to spite. So some of the stones were thrown wholeheartedly, and some of the stones were not thrown so wholeheartedly. They had to do it because that was what they were obligated to do. But over here, when you're dealing with someone who's just a blasphemist, an atheist, and just curses against Hashem, a reformist who doesn't have any respect for Yiddishkeit and for the Creator, it was ke'even achas, it was all like one stone. Everybody was wholehearted that this was just unacceptable. Be careful with what you do, he told this maskil, this fellow himself. And that is what, said the Dubna Magi, that's why it says, Emor ala kehanim b'nei Aaron, to l'hazir gedolim ala kehanim. That yes, the elders, we have to go through life as adults, as mature people, and to be tolerant of others, and to be accepting, and trying to infuse others with inspiration, with happiness, with success, that they too should be able to succeed, and that we should be able to continue to grow and succeed, and do things properly. But when it comes to educating our children, when it comes to passing on our heritage to the future, and even within ourselves, we always have to know what the correct thing is. We have to be able to show them the right and the wrong, and do things appropriately. And as Emir Hashem, we approach the opportunity to go back to shul. Let us try to be able to approach it properly. And of course, we look forward to enjoying Kiddush and schmoozing and socializing with our friends, an important element of being part of a kehillah, part of a community. But when it comes to davening, let's head back towards shul with a proper focus, that when it comes for davening, let the elders teach the younger, and thereby, by setting that example, work on ourselves as well, to be a good example of those who come, and we daven with kavanah. We use it as an opportunity to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to daven, to ask Him from our needs, to thank Him for all the help that Hashem has done for us, and that we should remain well and healthy, and always in our shuls without any further interruption ever again. Have a wonderful Shabbos. I hope to see you all on Lag BaOmer this coming Tuesday afternoon.